guidance platform associated with IIMs and other top MBA institute across India. We help students and professionals prepare for their top roles through practical, mentor-led learning. So till now, we have delivered 62,000 plus one-to-one mentoring sessions and supported 23,000 plus students and professionals in their career journey. So, and now please meet Surita. She is a co-founder of GoCrackIt and also an IIM Ahmedabad alumnus. So over to you, Surita. Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much, Suman. And thanks to everyone for joining in today at 11 on a Saturday morning. Thanks for doing that. Let me quickly get into the agenda at hand for today. So today, as you're aware, right, what we are going to do is we are going to look at how your, 1 minute, where can I present it? How to make your investment banking resume, right? That is what we're going to look at. So, yeah. So, what's this deal about? You would have read this. Yesterday, only this news came out. Netflix has agreed to buy Warner Brothers. Has anyone seen this news? Yes, no? You can unmute and speak. Anyone? Or maybe you can put it in the chat. Have anyone seen this? How many of you watch Netflix?
I just read the news of Netflix has been acquiring the Warner.
Right? So, you have seen the news, right? Now imagine Netflix is a company which is a recent tech company. Warner Brothers, pretty old company, right? In terms of film production and all that. And probably the valuation of Warner Brothers 10 to 15 years ago might have been around 10x than what Netflix had, right? So as an investment banker or as a finance person, you should always be aware of what's happening around you, right? Now, given that you have seen this news, a very good idea would be to analyze this deal. Very interesting deal. All of us watch Netflix or some other OTT platform, right? So very interesting deal to analyze in terms of what happened. Why did Warner Brothers have to sell out? What will Netflix gain from this? And then compare it to another deal which had happened 2 3 years ago, which was basically your Geo Hotstar and Disney deal, right? Similar deal in the media and entertainment space. Compare that deal to what happened earlier, right? So, the reason that I started with this was that as an investment banker, you should be aware of what's happening. Currently, what's happening and what's on social media everywhere, Indigo flights getting delayed. Now, again, yeah, it's an operational issue, it's a governance issue, there are n number of issues. But what is going to be the impact of this on Indigo's finances? Right? April, 31st March, it will end its financial year. What is going to be the impact of this on Indigo's finances? And hence, now if you are valuing the stock of Indigo, how it is going to perform, right, over the next 5 to 6 months? They are saying that to come to normalcy, it will be 10th February. How is it going to affect Indigo, right? So be aware of what's happening, and then I will walk you through how do you put this, right, the learnings on your resume and focus on it during your interviews as well for corporate finance or investment banking careers. Okay, moving on. So this is one of the important skill set for finance, right, of being aware of what's happening in the business and economics world. Okay, so a little bit about me. As Suman had mentioned, and I am Ahmedabad alumna, did my PGP from IIM Ahmedabad in 2008. Have got 18, 19, 20 years of experience now across investment banking, majorly corporate finance and strategy as well. Additionally, I'm also Harvard published case author. So I've written cases along with faculty of IIM Bangalore, and these cases are used across the world for MBA courses. And my cases are across multiple domains. It is in marketing, it is in finance, it is in operations. But the best part is that having worked in finance or IB, right, I can apply a lot of things in non-IB areas as well, right? See, every time if you are going to run a marketing campaign, the CFO or the finance person is going to ask you what is the ROI. So because I have been from the finance background, I can apply this everywhere. Being in finance helps you to see things from a very top level strategic perspective. And because it is ingrained with numbers, you try to bring in the rigor to the business or through the work that you're doing, right? So that's a little bit about me. What's the agenda for today? Quickly, we'll look at what's investment banking. Some of you may not have any context prior, so we'll look at that. And hence, what the investment banking recruiters expect from a resume. Today, we're going to focus on resume. We'll do a session on interviews also sometime, right? During maybe a week later, we'll do that. Okay. Then, how the resume structure has to be. What is what should be the resume content? If you are a fresher, right? I mean, given that some of you are still studying, right? Or, doing your final years, how do you build that relevant experience? If you come with prior work experience, how do you transform that experience to relevant context for investment banking? And I always face these issues, these questions, right? That what kind of certifications I would be doing. So we will touch a little bit upon that, right? So that's the agenda for this session. So what do investment bankers do? Typically, they do those financial transactions, right, which normal banks will do for individuals, or so let's say that if I have to take a loan, right, education loan, some of you might have taken that, then we typically go to a bank. There are bankers who help us with the documentation, figuring out what interest rate, what tenure, how much loan they can give basis our income level, basis our credit history, and multiple other things, right? The same thing investment bankers will do for institutions. And in institutions, there are corporates, there are governments, and there could be other institutions. It could be even NGOs and other kind of institutions. And they do financial transactions for these institutions for very high value transactions, right? So the transaction could be what we saw, right? The Netflix Warner Brothers deal, right? So there would be an investment banker at the side of Netflix, an investment banker at the side of Warner Brothers, who advise them. Why do corporates who have their own corporate finance team need investment bankers? So investment bankers, because they've worked across multiple industries, multiple domains, multiple types of deals, they bring in expertise, right? Which they can help the clients for. Secondly, the clients has a limited corporate finance team, right? When you're doing the deal, you really need a lot number of people, because the deal has to be done quickly, and there are so many things that need to be done when a deal is happening. So along with all the financial transactions, they also do M&A, right? A large part like acquisition, right? Netflix acquisition. Or it could be a merger between two entities. Or it could be a divestment. So any kind of financial transaction, investment bankers help with. It could be also IPO related, right? So investment bankers also are the book runners to help companies go public, right? So understanding context, right, in terms of what is the kind of work, and hence who you should be on the resume and as a person, right? That is very important. Okay. Now, given this context, let's learn which are the banks, right? So typically, you can see this, right? Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, Citi, Bank of America. These are typically called as bulge bracket investment banks. What do you mean by bulge bracket? They typically do large deals. They do all kinds of deals, be it debt, equity, M&A, divestiture, any kind of deal. And they are typically present across the globe. So, which means the financial hubs of the world, right? Which is your London, New York, Singapore, Dubai, some extent Mumbai as well, right? So these banks are present across the globe, do large deals, and that's the aspiration, right? For most of the folks to target bulge bracket. The recruitment at these firms is also very rigorous. So it's not very easy to get into these firms. Okay. In India, typically led by a lot of big fours. So your EY. So I worked at EY in investment banking. EY, PwC, Deloitte, KPMG. All the big fours have got deal making units. Now the big fours are audit firms, so they don't do IPOs. They can't do these public transactions, that they can't do. But otherwise they do all other deals. Then we have homegrown firms, Avendus. You have your Kotak Securities, which also SBI Caps. These are again large investment banks in India. What you should also be aware of is Financial Times runs something called as league tables, and it's not just FT. A lot of other people do that, which rank different banks, right, as per their fees, as you can see over here. And you can see here, right, JP Morgan, its majority of the fees are coming from loans, while Goldman Sachs, majority of the fees are coming from M&A. So if you are targeting a bank, right, be aware in terms of what kind of work they do, right, so that it should also align with what you are interested in, right? So be aware of this as well. Okay, so what do recruiters expect in a resume, right? So definitely a one page resume. Okay, you can't go beyond one page. They are not even going to look at it. See, investment bankers prepared 100 slide pitch decks for their deals, but they will always have a one pager summary or a one pager teaser to send it out. They are people who want to look things very quickly, should be numbers oriented, and hence that one page resume is sacrosanct. Okay, you can't go beyond one page. They love academic excellence. Okay, and especially this is applicable if you are a fresher or max say 2 3 years of experience. Why? Because they want people who have one, obviously, intelligence. Second, signaling hard work. Now that is very important because investment banking is a 18-hour, 20-hour job. It's not a easy job to do, right? Academic excellence shows one of those signals. Now, if you have a lot of experience, you're still okay with not being able to show academic excellence, right? That's okay. I mean, you can show it with relevant work, which is the third point, right? Relevant finance exposure. Even for freshers, they will expect it, and we will see what you can put in that case. You should be hardworking. How do you show hardworking? That along with your academics, you are able to do club activities, you are able to do volunteering, you are able to do 10 other things. Shows that you are hardworking. If you just have one thing on the resume, it is not going to cut the bill. If you do even co-curricular activities, it is fine. You are taking part in case competitions, you are doing live projects. Great. That is also fine, right? Numbers orientation. And this will be seen through how you have built your resume points. You can't have qualitative points responsible for so and so. No. You should have points which are structured in situation, action, result, framework. If you have big brands, that is again a good thing to showcase. Why? Because big brands, right? So be it educational institutions, be it internship places, be it case comps, wherever, right? There are big brands. Definitely put it on the resume. Why big brands matter? Because these are rigorous places to get into, and hence investment bankers would love to have people who have cracked the rigorous process over here. Okay. Structure. Now this is similar to what any resume structure would be. You would have all these elements of education, work ex, internship, projects. Not that you have to have all of these. You should have some of these, definitely, right? I mean, some you will definitely have, but you should have these sections on your resume. How do you structure it? Should education always come first? No. But if you're studying, yes, right? If you have work ex and relevant work ex, put the work ex before. Education can come later. All the segments you should prioritize based upon the relevance and not on chronology. Okay, do not get stuck that I should only put it in reverse chronological order. Not essential. If you have a CFA, put it at the top of the resume. Doesn't matter about your work experience. Okay, what is most relevant should come on the top of the resume. Okay. Okay, so across these sections, how should you put your content? If in education, right, for example, if you have got a good GPA, mention that graduated with 8.8 by 10 GPA, received dean's list, honor for 3 consecutive terms, completed courses in relevant electives, corporate finance, valuations, M&A. with top tier grades. So now this point, if you see at the second point, you may not be amongst the top 10 in your college. But if in your finance electives, if you're topping, mention that in education, right? Academic excellence, even if it is limited, that you have, showcase it, doesn't matter. Work experience. Now, if you have worked, again, this might be relevant, or it could be an internship experience. Uh, any finance work that you have done, you can showcase it, right? Built a three statement financial model, conducted DCF valuation, conducted benchmark. See, if you see, all of these points have quantification. Okay. Prepared investment material, assisted in due diligence for, you can put the deal size here. There is no number here, but you can put the deal size over here. If you have been an intern, right? Supported senior analyst in preparing client presentations. You can put numbers over here also, right? So deliberately we have not put numbers here to show the difference, right? Here, if you have, looks more powerful. Without numbers, little weak, right? So perform financial statement analysis and assisted in creating sensitivities for equity valuation for n number of projects across x amount of deal value. Okay. So this is how your points can look across your different sections. Self-initiated projects. So next week, we are going to do a session on doing the self-initiated projects, right? You may not have internship experience. You may have taken the courses, may not have project. But if you do projects on your own and publish it on LinkedIn, on your institute's website, newsletter, wherever, and then bring it back to your resume, that has a huge value over any certification that you do. Okay. But obviously you should do it and then only put it. Okay, that is important. Once you do it, you learn much better, and that is why your investment bankers value that over certifications or even your courses. Okay. You could be part of the clubs, show some leadership skill sets. Some certifications are useful. If we'll talk about that. And if you have any achievements, put that. Maybe in finance, maybe otherwise as well. As I said, achievements means hardworking professionals. Any achievements that you have in extracurriculars, whatever it is, put that on your resume. Okay. Okay, what are these? These are all deals. I am giving this so that you can go through these deals. So Misho has just finished their IPO and it was subscribed 79x. You could do an analysis of this. And now you do not, you have a lot of tools at hand who can help with analysis, but you should know it, okay? Do not just go by what the tools say. Lenskart IPO, what happened to that? Haldiram, Temasek had purchased Haldiram. We are going to do this full-fledged deal analysis in the next weekend, okay? On the Temasek Haldiram deal. We can probably look at one of these also, but that is what we are going to do. Now, if you're a fresher, right? How do you build your work experience? Courses, electives help, internships help. You can do academic, live, self-initiated projects. Participate in case competitions. Even some of them, go to Unstop. Lot of case competitions are available. Go select finance. Participate in relevant case comps, not all case comps. Be part of clubs, committees. Stock portfolio. Some of you would have started some investment, right? If you have built a good portfolio, bring that to the resume. Why not? If you have seen a good growth, typically your mutual funds will give you 14% returns per annum, right? Annualized returns. If your portfolio is even equivalent to that or somewhat better, bring that to the resume and be prepared. Don't just say I do technical analysis. Be prepared to showcase fundamental analysis as well. Deal analysis, what I mentioned, Haldiram deal. Independent publication. Now, don't do this. Put it on LinkedIn, right? So that the world also knows that you have done this. Networking, very important. Connect with your alumni who are in your, who are in the given domain, in the given firms, especially for freshers. This all applies to some extent to experienced folks as well. Okay. Now for experienced folks, right? You might say that you have come from, let's say, marketing background. Now, if you've worked in marketing background, what you can bring out, which is relevant to investment banking, you can bring out large numbers. You can bring out your analytical thinking process, right? Not creative side. You need here analytical thinking process. So, for example, conducted market sizing for a 1200 crore opportunity. Recommendation supported expansion into 3 new regions. Even though you're in marketing, you can think like a business person. That is what is coming out. That you can work on large scale deals. I mean, whatever opportunities, right? That is what is coming out. Optimized pricing strategy, increasing customer LTV by 18%. Okay. So, even your past work experience, not relevant to finance, can be tweaked around to show that you can think from a finance perspective or you can think from a business perspective. That should come out on the resume, right? Let's look at another interesting, right? Technical, right? If you have worked in software, for example, a lot of our engineers go to, software firms for the first 2 years. Automated reporting workflows, reducing processing time by 40%, saving 35 lakhs annually. What happens typically, people stop at here. Automated reporting workflows, you stop there. But what you have to do is think through and figure out what is the business impact of the work that I've done. Think, guesstimate, estimate, talk to your manager, bring to your resume. Okay. Ask the question, so what, till you reach the business impact. Okay. And similarly, you can do for other domains as well, right? If you have worked in, a lot of people who are trying to do CA have done articleship, very, very useful work experience for investment banking. Again, if you in those 3 years, if you've not done something relevant, go back, see these points, and you can build that independently on your own as well. But you are working with financial statements, you're doing tax analysis, all this is very useful for IB work. Okay. Operation supply chain, similar to what we had seen in the tech part, right? So this is how you can pull in your, yeah. And again, for experienced folks, this apply skill certificates, certifications, achievements, that also applies, right? Okay, quickly let's look at what certifications are relevant. Again, don't do certification just because they're available or you have the time or the money, right? Not relevant. Only things which matter are these: CFA. Even if you're CFA level 1 candidate, you've paid for it, you're working for it, put it on your resume. Clear CFA level 1, much better, right? Lot of weightage is given for that. FMVA is a course by Corporate Finance Institution, okay, which is again very valuable because it asks you to do a lot of things, right? Or if you're pursuing CA, right? I mean, if you've done CA, very good. Some of the Coursera edX specializations are useful. Rest all good to have, not very relevant, right? I mean, bulge bracket firms and leading Indian firms will not give any significance to other certifications. They are okay for back office roles in IB, right? That is what they help with. Okay, we have a blog on this, on what certifications that you can do. In the meanwhile, can you? I mean, before I take the questions, can you please share your feedback? I will take your questions, but first fill out the feedback. Suman, is the feedback QR code visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. And after this feedback, as I said, I'm going to take questions and something interesting, right? What's coming up next weekend? I'm going to talk about that as well. I'll wait for, let's say,
We can start taking feedback actually.
sorry.
We should start taking feedback questions.
Yeah. While people are filling feedback, I mean, I'm open to questions. Any questions?
Silta, there is one in the chat box
Can
from
you?
Satvik.
Yes.
How is stock portfolio a relevant point to add it in an IB resume?
Very good question. See, if you have a stock portfolio, right, you have done an investment, you have actually done a deal, right? And whenever you do an investment, you are doing that by analyzing several things, right? You are analyzing that company's fundamentals. You have gone through its revenues, balance sheets, income statements, cash flows. You are predicting that this company is going to do better. You are also doing some kind of valuation. So, hence, a stock portfolio is very, very relevant, because in an IB also you have to you have to do investment, decision making. If you see, I mean, if you follow our influencers, Rachna Ranade, right? How she starts? She starts by looking at industry. What industry should I invest in? Then in that, what company should I invest in? Similar thought process is required even in investment banking, right? And hence it is very relevant for an IB resume. But again, as I said, you should be able to defend it. Don't just say that I did technical analysis or somebody told me. You should be able to defend your own portfolio.
Oh, yeah, got it.
Yes. Okay, I think this. Okay, Sahanya Kumar has a question. I'm in 12th grade right now. I'm preparing for IP MAT 5-year program. What should I do after that to become an investment banker? Very good. Now that you're in 12th, I think you are, I mean, you have the next 5 years to build your profile for that, right? So, as I said, first year, I mean, understand the basics, your accounting, finance basics, focus on academics, right? During your first and half, 1.5 years. Then, three things that you should focus on during your 5-year program. Okay. First is trying to get relevant internships, right? Because the internships carry a lot of weightage for IB resumes. Okay. So focus on getting relevant internship, right? As I said, not here and there. It could be a small boutique IB firm, but your role should be meaty role. Okay, that is very important. Second, do projects, okay, with your faculty on your own for investment banking. Okay, we will share. I mean, next weekend we are going to cover how do you do relevant projects for investment banking. Okay. Uh, Thirdly, so internship project. Third, networking, very important. If you are planning to get into one of the IIMs for IP MAT, you have n number of people who are in finance roles. Start networking at the beginning so that it doesn't seem transactional later on. Start building your relationship right away. Okay. These three things you should keep in mind. Focus on your academics first. I mean, zero it. That is, that I would call as point zero. Then your internship, projects, networking. Okay. Very important. But I'm glad that you've joined this and you're starting it so early. Okay. Uh, yeah, next question by. Okay, Anurag has a very interesting question. Most of the points that you have mentioned are already included in majority of applicants' CV. What should be our competitive advantage when applying to BBBs? I'm assuming bulge bracket firm banks. Anurag?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. So see, if you have worked on a recent deal, okay, and that is there on your resume point. If you have done something which is, see, because what happens, investment bankers are working on things which are current right now. Okay, so apart from, let's say, that mentioning that you have done a DCF modeling, you have done, a three statement, that is, as you said, everybody would have those points. But let's say that you have analyzed a recent deal which could be of interest, right, to the investment bankers because they are looking at it. That would make you stand out. And that is where your self-initiated projects help, where you do it, for recent work. And as I said, I mean, it should be quantified, and those are all hygiene factors, but should be there. If it is not there, then it's a challenge. Any follow-up question, Anurag, on this? Because it's very interesting.
Yeah, ma'am, got it. So if currently like Lenskart and Misho are coming up with their IPOs, if
Right.
I do an IPO analysis on that and add it to the self projects, it will be like a
Yes.
better thing
Yes.
for the
Yes.
CV.
Yeah. Yeah. It will be very useful, and also consider it from multiple angles, right? So typically, when Zomato had come out with its IPO, right? I don't know how many
Mhm.
of you follow Ashwath Damodaran. Do you follow him, Anurag?
I follow Shraddha.
Yeah, right. So he has also very interesting takes on valuation, right? Consider that as well while you're doing that analysis so that you can do that from multiple perspectives, and that will really make your resume stand out because of
Hmm.
relevancy and relevance both.
Ma'am, one more question from my side.
Huh.
Like currently I'm pursuing BBA from IIM Bangalore,
Okay.
and I'm thinking of making my career in finance.
Hmm.
So should I appear for CAT the next year? Should target for IIMs or should I target for the NYU Stern Business School?
Good question. I can respond to based upon what with more details. But the short answer is, you should look at the institute's placement records. You should speak to some alumni. IIMs in India, yes, bulge bracket firms do come for hiring over here. Probably the numbers might be higher in NYU, right? Simply as I said, the finance
Mhm.
hubs, right, where there are finance hubs, hiring will be better over there. In India, supply is also a lot higher than demand, right? That is also a challenge. So, if you have the resources, if you have the bandwidth and all that, I would suggest NYU. But again, do the homework before taking a decision.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Thanks so much.
Sure. Okay. Satvik has another question. IB related finance case comes on Unstop. Okay, so Satvik, a lot of these IIMs and other B schools, their finance clubs come out with case competitions. So, for example, IIM Ahmedabad has Beta, right, as their finance club, and comes out with its own case competition or any finance challenge. When I say case comp, it could be a finance challenge as well. Similarly, look out for those. Some of the companies also come out with strategy plus finance kind of challenges. You can look out for those as well. Go for big brands, go for good brands. Focus your time, effort, and energy, right, to crack something which is challenging rather than easy. That is what I would advise.
Okay, so ma'am, what you're saying is focusing, looking for the finance clubs of colleges and their events would be better option.
Yes. Okay. Anu has a question. I have heard that you should show interest in one industry. So I want to know how to read about that particular industry. I'm interested in manufacturing. So how to read about it and from where? Very good question, Anu. So one start with something called as IBEF. So I will put it in the chat. So IBF is India Brand Equity uh, Firm, something, a foundation. Okay, they do good industry analysis and put it. Sometimes it is little dated, but start from there so that you have a basic understanding, right, of the industry, what happens, what is happening right now, etc. Now you have to major towards learning about the industry from a finance perspective. Okay, that is where then you go to some of the listed companies. Let's say from manufacturing sector, I don't know, maybe you can count automobile industries, automobile sector. I don't know. What comes under manufacturing? Because I think everything is manufacturing apart from technology. But anyways, pick any company which is listed company. Go through its equity research report. In that also they do industry analysis, and that industry analysis is very very relevant from a finance perspective. That is how you level up in terms of understanding the industry, one basic, and then second from a finance perspective. Third, in that given industry, find out the deals which have happened in that industry. Go to PwC deals section. They typically every quarter they come out with what deals have happened in the given industry. You will find out the deals happened in the manufacturing industry. Go to the deals level 3. Level 4, analyze that deals in the industry. What are the drivers in that industry which has led to these transactions? And that is how then you can prepare yourself as an expert on that industry. Anu, did I answer your question? Okay. Uh, I'm in IIT Delhi BTech first year. How could I work to get forward my career in IB? I participated in a few case counts. How can I improve? Yeah. So, Bhumika, I would say similar to what I had responded to somebody who had just started BBA, right? Yes, you will have additional course load of doing engineering work as well, but that also builds in a lot of analytical capabilities, right? So similar path, even from IIT Delhi, a lot of people would have gone into IB track. Maybe they would have gone on the tech part of it in the IB track. Some do go in the front end track as well. Okay, and then they would also do MBA post that they would have gone into front end IB roles. So start by those three things, right? Your relevant internships, projects, networking. Given that you are in a huge platform at IIT Delhi, right? You can definitely do these things. Do it in a structured manner. You don't need to do everything at one time, right? 1 month, focus on one thing. Second month, focus on something else. Third month, focus on something else. Okay. This way, then you can build your profile for getting into IB. Case competitions in your first year, yes, it will be a little difficult, but maybe in the second year you will improve upon this, right, in terms of participation and all that. Any follow-up questions, Bhumika, on this?
No, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, Krishnam, I have the relevant projects and certifications plus skills, and I've applied to large number of IB firms, network with people, but I haven't got any replies for interview. I am graduating in April. Okay. So I mean, yeah, this would take a little more, digging into in terms of what has been happening. Relevant projects, and networking should lead you to the right roles. Referrals would also work a lot better if you have already tried this out. Some of the companies also offer pre-placement interviews through their competitions. Maybe you should look at that as well. As of now, right, given that you're graduating in April, oh, you're graduating in April next year, you still have 1 year to go, right? You can continue doing this. Connect with alumni, right,
Maybe
for the right.
something, maybe
Sorry, Alok.
resume could be, if you have everything, then resume could be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this has to be looked, right, as I said, on a one-to-one basis. But what you should do is continue working on your resume, go through, format, the different checks, uh, do your, relevant networking and referral building. Then that should be helpful. Or, as I said, if you're still there in your, education, try those case comps which come with PPIs. Yeah, Bhumika, I have already responded to. Okay, anything else? Any other questions? Let me quickly show to you what we are going to do next weekend. So, 1 minute. Yeah, so next weekend, I'm going to do one, a session, which is on what we discussed last time, right? This one, investment banking resume points. So we'll be having a workshop where I will be taking you through what I just discussed. We will build a DCF model. We will do quick deal analysis. Okay. And we will do one more thing. So you will have 3 relevant investment banking resume points in that workshop. So I'm going to do this next weekend. I think, yeah, same Saturday, 11 a.m. That is what I'm going to do next weekend. Along with this, we also do, so as you would have heard, Alok, who's my co-founder, speaking during the session, he would be doing the session on guesstimate. It will be at 11, I think, next weekend. So, I mean, some of you who might be also interested in, let's say, consulting, product management,
10.
can look at this.
That is 10.
Okay, okay.
10
Yeah, this is
a.m.
not
That is 10
overlapping. Yeah.
a.m.
Yes. Yeah. Guesstimate session is at 10 a.m. So you can attend that. And 11 a.m. is my session. Mine is a 2-hour workshop. And as I said, I mean, attend it with a laptop, attend it, with full focus on those 2 hours, right? Because on mobile, it is not going to work because we are going to do things in that workshop. And similarly, we are going to do these sessions every week on relevant topics for management folks, non-tech careers as we call it. Based upon your interest, you can join in over there. This is the QR code for next week in case somebody wants to join that. Yeah, maybe Suman, you can share the link on the chat if anybody wants to have a look at that.
Yes, I have shared it in the chat. You guys can check. I'll share it again.
Sure.
So
Great. Yeah, anything else? Anyone? Any questions? Oh, there are some more questions, is it? Oh, yeah,
One
there are
more
some more
question, one more
questions, Suman.
question.
Yeah. Yash has a question. I'm in 12th, have some certificates, consulting, Olympiad, participating in more. Should I take FRM course? So see, FRM course good for risk management kind of roles. For front end IB, not required. Right? I mean, if you have to spend the same time, effort, and energy, I would say do FMVA, right? Or do something from CFI. That is more relevant. Risk management, good to have. For IB role. For risk management roles, very important, must have. Okay. Satvik, I'm in first year, will give CFA level 1 next year. Internships role, my doubt is whether to focus on CFA level 2 or internships. This will go hand in hand, Satvik, not an issue, because what you learn for CFA level 2, you're going to apply during your internships. So both are useful, important, relevant, right? CFA level 2 takes a year to complete. Yeah, but I mean that's something that you need to learn and apply, right? So hence, again, you need to figure out how much your bandwidth, your time is about. But both are important. That is what I would say. Uh,
Like which could we focus on FMBA or CFA? Like which should we prefer accordingly?
okay, so CFA is better known, better branded, I would say. So if you are figuring out right now what to do, do CFA. If you're already doing, you know, already from a good brand doing an MBA, FMBA would be also, relevant, right? But if you're from tech, right, I think you're doing your, IIT, right? Then CFA is much better than FMBA. If you're already doing MBA, FMBA is more useful.
I mean, this is where even I need to talk about. The thing is, I have college and I don't think I could manage CFA level 2 and all the extracurricular activities. And that is what I was talking about, whether to focus on CFA more or the extracurricular activities like participating in peer competition, volunteering, internships and all.
See, from a recruiter's perspective, right? If you have a relevant internship where you're working with a bank, with an IB, that would be more relevant than, let's say, even CFA level 2. Okay, from a recruiter's perspective, IB recruiter perspective. But it should be from a good brand and your work should be great. Volunteering and all that, not relevant for me as of now. Okay. But if you're, so internship, if it's a great internship, if it's a normal internship, not relevant, forget it, don't do it, do CFA level 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
guys,
I did good internships from
Balch,
good companies. Yeah.
yes.
please share your feedback here, Anna, in the share feedback sheet. That will be really great.
Yeah, and any follow-up questions that you have, you can share that also in the feedback. We will get back on that also.
yeah. So it'll be helpful for us and you also, you guys as well, if you share the feedback so that if there is anything like more you want to learn, you can feel free to mention it in the feedback forms. So we will bring that to you in the, in the feedback or in the upcoming sessions.
Yes. There's one question from Anu. First year student doing my MBA from tier 3 college and we have zero opportunities. Like I have heard cold mailing works. How to do cold mailing? Okay. So you need to figure out what are the email IDs of relevant people. I'll give one, instance, Anu. Write to faculty of IIMs. I don't know which city you are in, but if you're in Bangalore, write to faculty from IIM Bangalore that I want to do and whatever internship. I want to be a teaching assistant, research assistant, and you will get excellent work experience with Obviously, write to finance faculty. Don't write to any other faculty, assuming you are interested in IB. Okay, they are open to people who write to them. And similarly, I mean, you could be in any city, right? Find out nearest great B school, write to faculty who are involved in research. They're open to take interns, and the learning experience is amazing. Step one. Step two, try to reach out to an incubation center or an incubation or an whatever investment fund, and write to them saying that I want to write an do an internship, or I want to help you in some way, and again they would be open to giving you opportunities, right? So that is how, I mean, you need to craft an email which showcases what your experience you have, what will you bring to the table, so that they find it relevant to hire you. Again, be open to doing pro bono internships. Do not expect that they will give you stipend. Here, focus more on, I mean, I am faculty, they do give stipends, but focus more on getting the right work experience than the money part as of now. Anu, I hope I have answered your question. Indore, right to I am Indore faculty then. Very easy. Okay, anything else, anyone? I think we have stretched the session, but I loved doing the Q&A with everyone, and hence my pleasure. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. As I said, we look forward to meet you next weekend as well. And any other queries, feel free to reach out. I'm there on LinkedIn. You can connect with me or with Suman. You can do that.
Please share your feedback, guys,
Hello.
before going. That will be for.
Yeah, please share your feedback. The feedback link is there on the chat.